Welcome everybody, Don Giannetti, lighting-essentials.com and project52prosystem.com. We're going to take a look at some images and deconstruct them for you. These are images from my class, Project 52. These students are, some of them have been in the class for a while, some of them are new. I'm not going to bother telling you which one or which because I honestly probably can't remember. I'll get it wrong anyway. But first up is Eleanor Delaney from the Bay Area, and the assignment was to do a recipe, and she did a very simple guacamole, which I thought was a really fun little exercise. First of all, really liked the composition. It's just little, all nice right through here. The idea was to leave some room for the type. The assignment was a magazine interior ad or editorial first page, so there is room left for type. It's really beautiful. Look at how the limes, see how bright the limes are in here, how clean the avocado is in here. It still looks fresh, still looks natural, doesn't look like it's been photoshopped to death as we see too much. But also notice how the salt really sticks up from the white marble background, which is actually a piece of vinyl. A stickum vinyl that she's shooting on here. But nice exposure. Everything looks very good. How did she do it, you ask? Well, like this. Okay, she's built a scrim, and I'm a big believer in scrims. And using her softbox behind it, thrown the light through the scrim. This creates a very soft light. Let's go back and look at it. Very soft light. And it is bouncing through this card here. Is a little bit of light catching that card there, and that card is really there just to open up the shadows here. She's using a very large light source, as you can see. This the scrim is quite large. The softbox behind it is quite large, and so what was happening is she was shooting it not getting much shadow. So she's using a negative bounce card on the right side. And that gives us a little bit darker shadows and allows these bright greens to really pop up. A beautiful shot by Eleanor Delaney. Next up is Cliff Ferguson's shot for a salad. And you can see how nice the light is here. Cliff did a great job with the light. Look, we've got beautiful light on the blade. That's important. We've got highlights in the, I guess that's... little fish, and in the mustard, and in the lemon here, and even on the little crusty pieces of I think this is meat. I believe this is seared meat. Everything looks so good. I mean, some things that really intrigue me about photographs. Look at the detail there. Look at the beautiful detail there. Nicely done with the garlic. Spread them out a little bit. It's all so beautiful. And again, Cliff really nails the exposure. We see those eggs nice and bright, but they're not blown out. Beautiful job. How did he do it? He did it like this. His cameraman here, shooting down here. One large light from above. One large light from above. He's shooting down like this. I think he's taken his camera off his tripod for this shot, but he's shooting down, and so this very top backlight gives him beautiful forward shadows here. He's not not using a front fill card because he's cropping back so far back. I think if you come out to the end of his set out here, if that was included in the photograph, would probably need a fill card because that part of the set would be very dark. But back here, he's really using the lighting to full advantage, and he wants the dark shadows, so it helps pull those bowls off the background. Beautiful job. One thing you may have noticed is that Cliff had his camera slightly askew. When you're going to do something that's perfectly vertical like this, notice the small space here. We take it over here, and we've got a bigger space. That is not perfectly straight up and down. His camera was off center maybe 3/4 of an inch. You got to get it centered up. What's the difference? Well, let's take a look. Do you see the difference? It's pretty huge. This looks, to my eye, like it's just a little off. There's something about it. It's just a little off. Now there's nothing off. It's absolutely graphic the way it should be. We just put it in Photoshop and twisted it. That's all we did here. But you have to be very careful when you're shooting to keep those verticals absolutely straight. One of the things I do is I look for a line that leads me into the picture, and I try to put my camera on that line. In this particular case, there's really no single line, but there is that center point right here in this, and this is where I want the center of my lens to be, right there. So again, really nice, simple lighting setup for a simple shot, but really a very tasty shot. Angie Webb is a photographer who has a pretty good business going right now. She's moving up in her in the kind of work that she wants to do, and she did this beautiful still life here, which I think is just gorgeous, with window light and a little strip box at a distance. The strip box is to the right. It's far over there, so it's just adding a tiny little bit of fill to the underside of the roses. Just a little bit of fill to here, so they're not going so black. But notice what the light's doing to the water. Isn't that gorgeous? And what it does to the leaves, and what it does to the petals up there. What she's doing is kind of a modified dark field lighting. This is where everything is set up. She's using the light over the top of the black cards, so it's really spilling in from behind and above. And then the speed light in the strip light pretty far back. Looks like it's about a good 6 or 8 feet back. So it's a beautifully done shot, very, very well conceived, and a lovely composition. Notice the composition in parts, right? Notice that composition and the flowers composition and that composition. There's a lot of things going on, but they all work together to provide this beautiful still life. Would be really nice for an ad for a florist or something handmade. Lovely shot. That's Angie Webb. Lisa Hubbard shot a men's wallet, and this assignment, men's fashion accessories or men's accessories, was a real eye-opener for a lot of the photographers. They were like, wow, I didn't know it was this hard to shoot like a wallet. Yeah, it's tougher than you think. It's way tougher than you think. You can throw it out on the table, take your iPhone out, yep, knock yourself out. But that's not what the high-end company trying to sell a high-end wallet's going to want. They're going to want to see the texture, like she's captured the texture here, and the beautiful stitching here. She's kept everything black here, even though there's very little real black in the image. This is pretty dark gray up there. This is pretty dark black in here. It's not pure black yet, and yet we know this is a black wallet because of the gradient that she's provided us here, and we see the highlights. Lovely shot. I love the little parts of it like that where we can see the stitching and the front and the background. And of course the gradient from light to dark really makes the wallet stand out. And lovely that she caught the she made sure she got the light going into the logo, which is depressed with a little bit of a gold paint to it. She got that beautifully done. So it's really, really nice. I think I would have had, if I'd been there with her, I think I would have had her add a little bit of a light from back there just for that edge. But I don't think that kills the shot. I just think that's something to think about as you're going. How did she do it? She used a window over here for just a little bit of fun, and then just a single light right at the wallet. This light is not firing in the shot. When she did fire that, what happened? Well, she got a big reflection across the top of this laptop here. That's not a good look for this shot. It's not what she wanted. So she turned that off and really went with just this flash and the ambient light as her fill. There's no special cards or anything. That was too much when she added the cards. Everything became too bright in here, so she just let the natural light and the walls and everything else give her a little bit of fill right through here. Very natural, very lovely shot by Lisa Hubbard. And William Fairfax. Great shot. 3 men's portfolios here with an art case. Did a really nice job. Don't you love the feeling of the light pouring from the back? Isn't that gorgeous? Just feels like it's an early morning in a wood workshop somewhere, and everything is, it's the beginning of the day, and it really, really feels nice. We talked a little bit with William about maybe that's a little blown out. It's probably going to be blown out for print, but he can also go back into Lightroom and reprocess that. Not a problem at all. Beautifully done. What really helps this is it's great attention to focus here. You see? Perfectly in focus, perfectly in focus. We're a little tiny bit out back there. I don't really care, but perfectly in focus right here, all the way up here. This goes a little bit out of focus, but that corner being in focus is so important, and that corner being in focus is so important, and that corner. That's what defines these notebooks and keeps them looking good. So really, really nice shot by William Fairfax. And how he did it. Camera from over here, you can see the whiteboard that's creating this highlight right there that you see. You can see this whiteboard, which is creating a little bit of a highlight here. Let's go back and look at the shot again. You can see the highlight running down there. You see it right there. Little things, just little things. You can see it in the button there. You can see it in the. No, that's probably a reflection of the red one below it. So no, but you can see that edge right in here. It's really, really nice. Tiny little bit of bounce that he's done. He had to hang the diffusion material because it was just a little bit too bright back here on those white tubes. Without it, they would have blown out even more. But with it, they're toned down, and notice it kind of darkens that background there. So we have a nice feeling of light playing across here with something back there. It gives us dimension within the photograph, something back there to create that shadow. So that's a look at, I don't know how many shots did I do here. I looked at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots. 5 shots deconstructed for you. You'll notice none of our photographers are using big giant studios with fancy lights, etc. This is the kind of work you can do when you know what you're doing. At Project 52, we don't teach you how to do one thing. We teach you how to figure out the concept so that you can do many things. Some places, well, if you're going to do a still life, this is where you put the light and this is what you do with it. And that's great until you go out and get your first job and they want something different. So the way I teach, the way my group comes in and helps with everybody is we teach you to find the ways to make it work with the gear that you have. We're not into fancy gear, but it's a fun class. Check it out down below, project52prosystem.com. And if you're looking for some one-on-one mentoring with your photography, I do that. I'm good at it, and I'll make sure that you get your money back by getting the jobs that you need to be a photographer, to go into business. And there we go, Don Giannetti Lighting-Essentials, dongiannetti.com. And if you click the little subscribe button, I'd really love you for it. I don't care about the bell, that's up to you. But the subscribe button, oh, that'd make me happy. I will see you next time.